So you meet these kids in Stanley Park. What next?
We walked along the seawall, talking, watching the ships. Then she said we should go into the woods.
So you're saying it was her idea?
Yeah, it was her idea. He didn't want to go, but she was keen.
It's 15 years ago, Kevin. You sure you're remembering this right?
Well, I like to commit the good times to memory, Sergeant.
Listen, I have a question for you. How come you never told anybody about this before? You could have added 7 and 8 to your body count.
Well, I had no reason to until those park guys stumbled across the bodies. Didn't want some lying con artist laying claim to my work.
So that night, where'd you go?
I headed towards Lost Lagoon. I like the water at night. It's quiet. Went along the bike path. I thought, first one who complains, that's the one. And then I figured, nah, first one who trips. They soldiered on, holding hands, and lovebirds. Big adventure. And that's when I got the idea. They were so close. They could go together, in pieces. I hit him first, then her. Knocked him out straight away, but she was only stunned. And when I started cutting him, she watched. She was getting off on it.
She was scared to death, Kevin.
You weren't there.
So, you killed them both just off the path or on the path, or?
I dragged him off the path. I didn't want to be interrupted, and she didn't either. I took my time cutting him. She enjoyed watching it so much. Not as much as when I started cutting her. I dipped my finger in her blood, and she licked it off. She wanted it. What?
With a knife, Kevin? Is that what you're saying? When you finally got around to killing both of them, you used a knife?
Yeah.
It's not how they died.
This damn Stanley Park case. They started talking about that bike path. Thought we had him.
Every time we talk to one of these twists, I can't help thinking about these two kids, wondering why the last person that they met had to be someone like him or someone worse.
I know.
We get this one, Mickey. You know, I don't care what it takes. We get him.
Drive safe. I'll see you tonight.
Hey, the missus.
No, that's the girlfriend. The wife and I have an arrangement.
Oh, is that the one where your wife puts on a short plaid skirt and knee-highs and you two slide around in the back seat?
Is that your car that parks behind us all the time?
Hey, Nico, you're not going to believe this.
You're probably right.
She's a snitch, Nico. That's why she was murdered.
Who was murdered?
His mother, 18 years ago. A snitch, huh? Okay, where'd you find that out?
This guy I met in the can, I came right over to tell you.
My lucky day.
All right, I'll see you inside.
Okay. So, Trent, some guy in prison says that your mom's an informant for the cops.
It's a lead. Don't you think it's a lead?
But I thought she was a drug mule.
It was before.
Now wait, is that after she was the mayor's mistress? Do I got that right?
I got a feeling about this one.
Me too. I got a feeling. I got a feeling this guy's been stringing you along.
You gonna check it out, Nico?
Yeah, sure, Trent. Some guy says your mom's an informant. I'll check it out.
She was murdered. You guys are supposed to investigate murders.
What's his story?
Crackhead. Comes by every once in a while. My mom this, my mom that. Blah, blah, blah.
She's a legitimate cold case.
Yeah, she's legit, but Trent's leads. He's got a new one every time he's out of the joint.
So what was her name?
Whose?
The mother's.
Hey, if I thought there was something there, I'd be on it.
Right.
Okay?
What was her name?
I'll show you the files. That satisfy you?
Yeah, could do.
All right. Hey, don't push me. I might have to tell your wife about your girlfriend.
Oh, you wouldn't do that, would you?
Could they have been killed off-site? Sure. Killed in the park? Yeah, that too. 15 years is a long time, guys.
What about that juvenile osteoporosis you were talking about?
You always want to cut right to the good news. Okay, these kids' bones look older than their natural age.
Why is that?
Both of these people were exposed to a variety of contaminants: lead, zinc, arsenic, copper. High exposure can lead to a decrease in the flow of calcium ions.
English?
We're looking at young victims with old bones. I don't think they're from around here.
So where should we be looking?
Any place with heavy industry? Trail, Port Moody, Squamish.
Bhopal?
I'm sorry I don't have more for you guys.
Vancouver's a runaway's paradise. I mean, that makes even their BC citizenship a big if.
Yeah, but we can start here.
Work on the rest of the world later.
Yeah.
Good news?
Yeah. Missing persons identified one of our bodies. Michelle Ripley. She's from Squamish.
And the boy?
Not yet, but they say that she ran away with her boyfriend.
Let me know if I can help.
Sure.
I got 2 kids.
Yeah, I know. I got a little sister, you know.
Really? I bet you she likes having a cop for a big sister.
Yeah, she thinks it's pretty cool.
2 years.
What?
Married, 2 kids. All the good ones are taken.
I'm single.
Like I said.
What? I'm a catch. I am.
Hey, Catch. Catch.
What?
I was talking to Sam Needles. Confirmed the kid's story.
The informant story?
Says he was her handler.
Get out of here. How'd you end up asking him?
I checked the file. He was at the scene, but he wasn't homicide. Before he hung it up, Needles used to work drugs.
I'm impressed, Harper. You show a lot of hustle for an old guy.
As far as I remember, Belinda was on the payroll for a year and a half.
So, Sam, what was her story?
She'd been around the block. She had a thing for motorcycles and motorcycle gangs.
Somebody's old lady.
No, she had boyfriends. Did you know that both her kids had different daddies?
If she was working for drugs, how come it wasn't in the case file?
Homicide didn't need to know.
It never occurred to you that what she was doing might have been important to motive?
Oh, yeah. So some homicide hotshot can figure out that she's our informant and use it as leverage in his own investigation, then we're out 2 years worth of work. No, thanks. How'd the kid find out she was an informant anyhow?
I don't know if I could tell you. It might jeopardize my investigation.
Sure. Well, good luck, detective. There's lots of suspects to choose from. Belinda liked to hang with a rough gang. Come on, baby.
Trent,
Nico, you didn't come here to bust me, did you?
waste no time.
What?
Put that away. Put it away. Looks like you might be right about your mom. Do you know what I'm talking about?
My mom.
Okay, come on, let's go. About her being an informant.
Yeah, I heard that. You saying it was right?
The guy who told you was right. Who was he?
I don't know. He worked in the kitchen.
How do you know your mom? Trent, how long you been hassling me about your mom? 6 years.
She was murdered.
Murdered or not murdered, she wouldn't want to see you in a place like this.
Nico, can you loan me 20?
This is a copy of your statement from when your mother was murdered. If you can get it together enough to take a look at it, maybe you'll remember something, huh? Maybe not.
I want 10. Can you loan me 10?
The dental records. There's no mistake with those?
No, Mr. Ripley.
I see. I see.
Well, we knew, didn't we? We knew a long time ago.
Yeah, we knew.
There was a body found with Michelle's, a teenage boy. You mentioned in your report that she ran away with a William Wells.
Billy Wells was Michelle's boyfriend. They ran away together.
Was he from Squamish as well?
Well, you don't know about Bill?
We know Michelle ran away with Bill, but there's no missing persons report on him, so...
Well, how can that be? His parents knew when we did.
You mean he was never reported missing? What the hell is with that family?
The police were supposed to be looking for the two of them. 2 children. A girl and a boy. So they could have walked right by anyone? Walked right by either of you and it wouldn't have mattered? They were only looking for one girl?
Michelle would bring Billy home for dinner sometimes. He was always polite. But he was in trouble with the police around here.
What kind of trouble?
Shoplifting. And he broke into a couple of summer cabins.
Then he moved up into car theft, and that's how he got Michelle into trouble.
How do you mean?
Well, Billy stole a car, and Michelle was with him. They got caught on the highway heading to Vancouver. He tried to outrun the police. Stupid kid.
There's no arrest record on Michelle.
Well, that's because there were no charges against her or Bill.
We placed Michelle in a new program for juvenile offenders, Ambleton School.
It was supposed to be more of a school than a prison, and no record. We thought that was important for Michelle's future.
And you didn't hear from Michelle again after the 2 of them ran away from Ambleton?
No.
Detective Savalas?
That's me.
What the hell do you think you're doing encouraging my brother with his conspiracy theories?
Hey.
He's got enough troubles without you raising his hopes about solving murder.
Maybe you could tell me what we're talking about before you take me down.
We're talking about Trent Givens. He's my brother.
You kidding?
You thought being a crackhead ran in the family?
Give him a break. Listen, we reopened the case because he's found something.
Okay.
Okay?
What did he have to say?
You were 8 when your mother was killed?
Yes.
Did you know she was a police informant?
Is that his new story?
Yes, it is. And this time he's right. She was working for the good guys.
Well, that point's debatable.
Okay, you gonna give me a break here or what? Do you want to take a seat for a couple of minutes?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe you are one of the good guys. It's just that Trent is always coming up with some new clue about her murder and...
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You were the one who found her that morning.
You know, this police informant business, that could explain a lot of things.
Like what?
Well, like she hardly ever had a job, but there was always plenty to eat. Our clothes were new.
Yeah, you don't make a living being a police informant.
Yeah, well, there was always boyfriends. So I guess that between them and the police, she was doing all right.
Could we keep each other up to speed? Because Trent, he's not an easy guy to find.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice way of saying that he's not the most reliable. Here. Please, Detective, if there really is some hope of solving her murder, I would like to help.
I'll call you.
Okay, thank you.
So you knew your son ran away from Ambleton?
Yeah.
And you never heard from him?
No.
You didn't consider him a missing person, Mr. Wells?
Oh, he was missing, all right. When Bill's 14, I kind of figured he's his own man, you know?
Did it ever occur to you that he might be in some kind of trouble?
Bill was always in trouble. My wife at the time used to say that boy was a real little shit. Look, officer, I get no pleasure saying that about my own son. That's just what he was.
So he ran away because he was a little shit, you figure?
I guess so.
You figure 14 years old, runs away with his girlfriend. No reason to be concerned here. No reason to report him missing.
Look, officer, I'm at home with a woman, could care less if she ever sees that boy again or not. Fact is, she's gonna be a lot happier if she don't, so, why should I even make a fuss?
So you chose your wife at the time over your own kid?
Yeah, well, I was still enjoying her company.
Nice choice.
Any idea where we might find your wife at the time?
Happy hour starts about 40 minutes down the Legion.
There was no missing persons report on your stepson. Seemed a little curious to us.
Oh, George made up his own mind about it. I never said anything one way or another. His kid.
I gather Billy was a handful.
Thought he was. Mostly a big mouth and a lot of attitude.
But if you scratch the surface?
Kid was a whiner. Most of these so-called toughs are.
Any idea why he ran away from the school, Hamilton?
It was just another example of how weak the kid really was.
What do you mean? Can we get another one over here, please? Thanks.
I'd write these letters home, how the guards were awful, the kids were getting beat up. I don't remember what all. Like we were gonna haul him out of there or something.
Think that's why he ran away?
Kid never knew when he had it good. George wasn't any better.
And what did Mr. Wells make of these letters?
Oh, I burned them.
You burned them?
Yeah, there was no point in getting George all upset. A little tough love never hurt anybody.
Belinda Givens. How can you investigate something that old?
Well, it's a special gift.
I guess so.
You were questioned about the murder back then, but you had a pretty solid alibi.
I did, huh? What was it?
Your son's bris?
Yeah. Rabbi nearly botched that surgery when my buddies showed up.
Hey, let's try a new tact, Buzz. Did you know that Belinda was a police informant?
The hell you say? Things I told that girl.
You still in touch with Mad Dog Krakauer? Donnie Combs?
Mad Dog's a born-again Christian. Runs a printing shop over on Commercial. Combs is dead. Prison, dead, prison. Keenan joined a biker gang in Quebec. Never knew the bastard was bilingual.
You figure any of them knew about Belinda?
Not the brightest bunch in the world, you know? Interesting thing about your list there. There's at least half a dozen names missing who were pretty regular visitors over at Belinda's.
You think you could generate those names for us?
Think you can ask the highway patrol to stop harassing me every time I take my ride out for a putt?
No, I don't remember his name, but I do remember that his personal hygiene needed some serious work. Oh, Bud. He always had candy. I didn't even have to look in his pocket for it. This guy. This was her boyfriend just before she died. What was his name?
Jake Walters.
Yeah, Jake. You know, the thing is, Detective,
Nico.
Oh, the thing is, the morning that I found her body, you know, I saw somebody running down the street, but I just saw his back, and it was foggy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't remember seeing him before. I mean, in the initial investigation.
Moose Lewis.
Yeah, jerk. You know, right before she died, I had this feeling that she was seeing somebody else besides Jake.
This guy?
It's strange that I wouldn't have been asked about him, don't you think?
Yeah, I'll find that out. Do you recognize him?
Yeah. Yeah, he came around a lot. Mostly by himself, though, you know. I'd just come home from school and find him there.
Anything going on between him and your mom?
I don't know. He kind of gave me the creeps. Who is he?
I'm gonna find out.
Okay. Well, if that's it, then I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah, for now.
What, do you mean there's more?
Well, a few are coming in, and if I find something, I'll call you, and maybe we could hook up.
Hook up? That's not what we're doing now, hooking up?
No, this is more like convening.
Ah. And so hooking up would be different because, what, there's food, maybe?
Yeah. There could be food. There could be drinks, even.
Oh, well. Sounds friendlier than this. So I tell you what, then, Nico. When you get those photos, then you give me a call. We'll hook up.
All right.
Look at that beard.
How was it you turned up first that morning?
What morning?
The murder. First cop on the scene.
She was my informant.
7 o'clock in the morning?
I owed her some money. She was whining about it. I stopped by on the way to the station. Found the little girl cringing on the couch.
Yeah, that little girl says you were around a lot.
So?
Well, I was just wondering if there's something else other than a professional relationship going on.
You're gonna want to watch what you're saying, Detective. I got no problems calling my lawyer.
Why? Because I'm curious about how often you were over at the house?
You're curious about something that's nothing. You follow me?
Sure. She was just your informant.
Hey, Harper. This Jane Doe 114. This was your case, right?
Yeah, I worked that one for a while.
What's the story?
Little Japanese girl, 18, they figured. Found her on Kiefer, never ID'd.
Spent 18 months in this one, huh?
Yeah.
Bet you thought you wouldn't see it back here again.
Yeah, or maybe I knew it would end up here right around the same time I did.
Well, I'll just leave this one out for you then.
You're sure you never saw any of these guys before?
No, I'm sure.
They were all friends of Lewis.
I'm sure. So what do you think it means?
It might mean that certain members of the undercover operation felt that their investigation was more important than solving your mother's murder.
You mean that the police protected some of these guys?
That's what I need to find out.
I thought the police were supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah, well, they're human. They don't always make the right choices.
Oh, wow. That makes me feel so much better. I'm gonna make some coffee. You want some?
Not for me, thanks.
I got decaf.
Nope.
Oh, what? Your big tough coffee can drink any decaf.
Well, if the guys at the office found out.
Oh, well, tell you what. I won't tell them if you don't.
How do I know I can trust you?
I guess you don't. But, that sounds pretty good for decaf, don't you think?
That sounds good.
And you know it's getting tired each day. So I try to find.
I should go.
I have caffeinated too.
I'm glad I can stay for one.
Yeah, there's bees in the tree.
How do you take it?
Hey, Brooke. Nico, what are you doing here?
Good question.
Brooke?
She's in the shower.
I don't want you to tell me that. Jesus.
Look, Trent, we've been talking about the case and...
The case? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to be doing, not screwing my sister.
Hey.
Hey, so... Trent. Hey. Trent, wait,
Save
please.
it, Brooke.
Oh.
I can go talk to him.
No. It's fine.
Sorry.
And Figure said he would come today. That's good. That's really good.
All I'm saying is that it's a hell of a coincidence. The witness says she never saw Blake, Vernon Booth, or Wandering George around the house.
And the coincidence?
None of those guys were suspects in the murder investigation, but they were drug squad's lead suspects in the heroin smuggling ring.
So drugs held back info from homicide, is that what you're saying?
Needle says as much.
All right, you check with Burt Bennett on this? He was the lead homicide investigator.
I will.
You know, she was 8 years old when she looked at the books. It could be she's forgotten some of what she's seen.
Could be.
Detective Savalas, can I talk to you for a minute, please?
Hey.
I was just hoping that maybe I could take you to lunch since breakfast got ruined.
It wasn't ruined.
Well, it wasn't a great way to end a great night.
Okay, give me a sec. Okay. She wants to go over a couple of things in the case, so, I'm gonna take a walk or something.
Sure. Is this a habitual thing with you?
What?
Dating the witnesses.
We're talking about the case.
Okay. Talking about the case. I hope it's not a habitual thing. Bennett, it's Harper. Given's homicide 18 years ago. Can you give me a call, please? Thank you.
Sergeant McCormick? There aren't very many. She started off with a letter a week, but then they just ended.
Billy's stepmother mentioned something about beatings at school. Did Michelle mention anything like that?
She complained. And she hated the school. Food was bad, the teachers were stupid, but beatings? No.
Nice service, huh? Hard to believe the day's finally come. Michelle's parents must be relieved. You know, they wanted to leave here about 3 years ago. Couldn't bring themselves to leave the house, just in case.
Yeah, that must be rough. Were you close?
Best friends.
So Michelle and Bill. The good girl loves the boy from the wrong side of the tracks.
I guess that's how it could look. But the thing is, we don't really have a right side of the tracks out here.
So how was it really?
Michelle was really smart. You know, she knew how to play her parents. That joyriding incident that sent them both to juvie school? Michelle's idea. When they got caught, Bill made her switch seats so he could take the rap. Not pass for love back then.
Hey, that works for me now.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So she was a real wild child then. What about him? Tough guy, or was all that a bluff?
No, Bill was a tough guy. He wouldn't complain about anything.
Nico around?
Trent, right?
Yeah.
No, he just stepped out.
Nico gave me this. He said if I thought of anything that wasn't in the statement, I should, I think Mom had a gun.
A gun? And you're just remembering this now?
That statement was taken on the day I saw her dead. Maybe I wasn't at my 6-year-old best.
All right, I'm sorry. Is there anything else that you remember about this gun, Trent?
She kept it beside the bed. One of her boyfriends. They would have known.
All right, let's sit down over here and we'll talk about it, okay?
So, your partner doesn't care much for this whole dating witnesses business, huh?
Well, what does he know? He's old school. You did say dating, right?
Maybe I misspoke.
No. I mean, where else are you supposed to meet people these days except at work?
Exactly.
Okay.
Listen, I just wanted to say I'm sorry about how I reacted with my brother this morning. He just really caught me off guard.
Yeah, me too.
I forgot to change the locks after he went to jail. Back to jail. So.
I'm surprised you'd give him a key.
Yeah. You know, every time he straightens out, I tell myself, okay, this is it, you know? It's really gonna work this time, and yeah, then he always goes back.
Well, he seems to be doing well.
Trent has this idea that if my mom's murder was solved, then all of his problems would be solved too. Like they started the day that she died.
I guess it must feel like that.
I guess it must.
Look, you kept up a relationship with that guy. Not a lot of people would do that.
I feel responsible for him. So.
I like that about you.
Yeah. You watch what you say, Detective. People will think you're toying with the witness.
Oh.
She went to school with both of them. I think she's a little less biased than the parents.
So we've got Billy, the tough guy, saying the place is a nightmare, and Michelle, the brainer, saying absolutely nothing.
So maybe Mandy was lying about the letters. Or maybe it's time we had another talk with George.
Savalas. Trent dropped by. Seems like his old statement jogged his memory. Says there was a gun around the house belonged to his mother.
He's sure about that?
Well, he seemed pretty convinced. Some kind of revolver. I'm gonna try and track it down.
Well, if my opinion counts for anything, he's not much of a witness. 6 years old back then, and now with all the
Look, I think the kid's on the level.
And I think Needles could use another visit.
There's no point. Talked to Nick Waters, who was running the drug case. Sam's a pig, but he's a good cop.
Oh, yeah, why? Because Waters said so?
No, because Waters was with Sam when Belinda was shot.
Well, I'm looking for Moose Lewis, or you could.
I'm gonna follow the gun for now.
Well, respectfully, I think you're wasting your time.
It's no problem. It's my time.
Mandy says she burned him. And she did. I never saw no letters. But I can tell you this. Whatever is false, Bill wasn't one for whining.
Did it ever occur to you if you'd seen those letters, there may have been a different outcome here?
I'm sure you'd like to hear something different. No. He had his time to serve.
Too bad being a negligent asshole isn't a crime.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Just like that?
Kids jumped the fence at the school. Let's check out Ambleton.
Hey.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
There's no food in here.
What do you mean? Look!
Look Yogurt. Like I said, there's no food. Hey, your brother came by today while we were at lunch.
Oh, good.
He told Harper your mom had a gun.
A gun? No, I don't think so. I mean, I have no doubt that there were guns coming in and out of our house with those visitors that we had.
But you never saw a gun?
No, I think that that's something that boys tend to share with boys, you know? I don't know, maybe one of the wild bunch over there showed Trent a revolver or something. He just remembers it as hers. Because, you know, girls, they don't get interested in guns until much, much later.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But then you know what happens? They get very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, of course I remember Belinda Gibbons.
Remember tossing the house?
Well, in a general sort of way. Dead woman had 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
Little boy kept slipping out of the squad car, coming in to see what we were doing.
Did you search the kids' rooms?
Sure.
Bert, did you search them?
Oh, Jesus, Harper. They were 2 little kids. Their dead mom is lying in the doorway. Of course, if it happened today, we'd tear the rooms apart.
Times change, huh? Okay, do you know if this house is still standing? Okay.
Where's the fire?
240 Lisgar.
That's the Givens house. What are you doing?
I got a search warrant.
For what?
The gun, Savalas. I happen to believe the guy won't listen to you.
I've been listening. You really think you're gonna find a gun 18 years later?
I'm gonna look.
Fine. I found the moose.
Good luck.
I always wondered why the cops never came to question me.
I guess they weren't aware of your relationship with Belinda.
How come you are?
A lot of things change after 18 years. Memories, loyalties.
So now you know, so what?
So what were you doing on the morning of April 17th, 1984?
Why don't you ask the cops? You know, I was busted 6 months after a murder for importing heroin. I had a pickup that morning. Cops had me under surveillance. It's all in the court transcripts.
I'll check it out.
Maybe you should be doing that before you start bringing people in.
What was with the sneak around anyhow?
With Belinda? Wasn't interested in an instant family, especially not that family.
Why's that?
Belinda's daughter. She was always disturbing us, wanted attention.
Daughter wanting attention from her mother. How strange. What about the boy?
Liked the boy fine. Some girl who'd stamp her feet when she didn't get what she wanted. You finished with me?
Get out of here. "18 years, a lot of tenants have passed through that house. It could belong to anybody."
Yeah, but we found it in the heating vent in what used to be a room. So I'm on my way to forensics.
I'll come with you.
The angle of the gunshot that killed Belinda Givens was extreme. Considering she just opened up the front door, shooter could have been on the sidewalk below her, shooting up at her.
Any other scenarios?
Sure. Standing right here, gun slightly above waist level, held out a little. That works. If it was a kid. Or a midget. Or anything else, because I could go run the ballistics now.
That's it for me, thanks. If you want, I could call her.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Harper.
Yeah.
She was just a little girl.
Yeah, I know.
Nice looking school. Glad it was demolished. People should have to get a license to have children. That's what we should do. They have to take a 4-year course, a passing grade of no less than 80%, and they have to get regular testing afterwards. That's it.
You know, some people don't test well. They're smart, they know all the information, they fall apart in a test situation.
So let them get a cat.
You're in danger of becoming a real crank, McCormick.
I appreciate your use of the term becoming.
Even a loser like George Wells must have thought he was doing the right thing, sending his kid to Hamilton.
Sure. 130 kids, 14-to-1 teacher-student ratio, full-time counselors.
Sounds like a cushy private school.
Yeah, not your average juvie reformatory, that's for sure.
Tea taking the barbed wire on top of the fences.
Hey, Allie.
Ooh. Hey, Vanessa.
My dad's coming with us.
Well, that's great.
Hello, Daddy.
See you, Vanessa. Bye.
Hi. I'm Dan.
Hi. Dan.
Yeah.
Allie.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, Vanessa's made reservations and everything.
Well, isn't she a clever girl?
Yes, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Good.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
They found the gun in the vent in your old bedroom.
I used to hide my diary in there. You know, dear diary, today Jimmy Fitzpatrick looked at me funny. I hate him.
So who'd the gun belong to?
It was in the nightstand. Trent showed it to me once. I was so mad at him. You know, because he could just pick it up any time, so I hid it.
Good.
Yeah, no, really.
We found the gun, Trent.
That's why you're talking to Brooke.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you better stay, because it could be that your sister's gonna need you for a change.
You know, I think I'll wait outside for her. You can tell her I...
Tell her what? You did what you had to, Trent. You wanted justice for your mother, now see it through. Now sit down here. Sit down. I'll get you a candy bar. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What kind do you like?
Caramel?
Caramel it is.
So I bet you didn't know I was a jock, huh?
No. What'd you play?
Everything. Field hockey and soccer and basketball. I was the center on the soccer team. I really loved it.
So what happened?
She was mad at me for something, and she told me that I couldn't go to this big tournament in Abbotsford on the weekend.
That's the wrong thing to tell the center.
We fought about it all week. And then, on that day, the day before I was supposed to leave for that tournament, when I heard her get up for the paper, I took the gun out. I don't even really know what I thought I was gonna do with it. You know, I was gonna wave it around and scare her.
How'd she react?
Well, she couldn't believe it. I guess that she was trying to calm me down and everything, but... At the same time, she was lecturing me about how I brought this punishment down on myself and that I was gonna have to deal with it. I pointed it at her and I told her to shut up, and then the gun went off. And I still didn't know what happened, and then I heard Trent come down the stairs, so I ran outside and timed it so that I came back in just as he discovered her body. I was 6 years old. I let him do that alone.
What about the man in the fog?
This is a story that I told Trent. He wanted to go outside and chase this bad man who hurt his mom.
So you stuck to the story when the cops showed up?
I didn't want to go to jail.
You wouldn't have.
Yeah, I know that now.
You'll probably be tried as a juvenile, 8 years old, an accident. The most you'll get is a suspended sentence. It's hardly gonna ruin your life.
You really think that's how Trent's gonna see it?
No.
What about us? Why?
You know why?
I wasn't playing you.
I know that. But, it's just...